Well, hello again, YouTube with Speedy Two Finger, and we are here today to talk about Rob Fetters. Lefty loose, righty tight, musician, Saint Ain't, Shipshake. 4 solo albums from this guy, Cincinnati resident. You may know him as a raisin, you may know him as a psychodot, you may know him as a bear. You may not know him. He's made lots of music. He's won Addies, Tellies, and a bunch of awards for songwriting, guitar playing albums, and even managed to get in the Cincinnati Entertainment Awards Hall of Fame with the Bears. And this is true because the first year that Cincinnati did their music awards, it was basically an embarrassment. It was the Rob Fetters show. He walked away winning like every category, which deservedly so. The guy's been a staple. He's been in Cincinnati and he's been an incredible shining star since he was a kid. I understand he was playing his guitar at that level when he was like 15 years old. So there is a list of music he's made for commercially. ABC Television, PBS, Disney, Nickelodeon, Fox Sports, Walmart, Exxon, Microsoft, Chiquita, SeaWorld, Crest, Pitney Bowes, Starkist, Airheads, Kellogg's, United Way, Long John Silver's, Hasbro, Intel, and these are just a few. So you may be saying to yourself, why do you not know who this guy is? Well, that's a good question. I own every single one of these solo albums, and some of them are signed. We're going to be going over to take a look at Rob Fetters' Facebook. The door to my studio, this is August 2nd, hunkered down, madly recording a new record for the most beautiful fans in the universe. More to come. And he's got a Sidney Perlman quote: I guess I'm just an old mad scientist at bottom. Give me an underground laboratory, half a dozen atom smashers, and a beautiful girl in a diaphanous veil waiting to be turned into a chimpanzee, and I care not who writes the nation's laws. Practice 30 more years, says our old pal Nosferatu. So I think we're going this way. Pinky, the Nashville Strung 59 Duosonic, and her friends at work. Left to right, Gordon Rankin's Wavelength, the Ampeg Jet, Supro with a 6x9, my trusty AC-15, tweaked by Gordon Rankin, the Peluso P12, a great microphone. Now, Gordon Rankin is this guy who worked developing audio codecs for Apple. He also makes these devices that you plug into your router and into your mixing board, and this will translate your music to a really high fidelity level if you are live streaming. So if you tune in to Rob Fetters' internet music performance show, which is on YouTube, it's a live stream titled Fetters is Cheap, you may notice, wow, the audio sounds exceptionally great. Really good audio. And that's all the fault of Gordon Rankin, who is he's not famous for working for Fetters. Gordon Rankin is like in the world of high fidelity and audiophile stuff. He's a superhero guy, Gordon Rankin. And he's buddies with Fetters. He built him this Wavelength tube amp. This is Rob Fetters' pedal board, and this is a Gordon Rankin pedal here. He only has 2 custom pedals on his board, and the other pedal is this yellow one. I wonder who built that. It's got a little red heart sticker. Gee, that's cute. Miss Greenie von Schneidocaster and the Broadcast 74 Custom Les Paul. Typically, Fetters is not a Les Paul player. He's a Strat guy. In his own studio space, Noah Fetters, laying down the law on several album tracks. So this is his son, Noah, who is involved in the music business, and he is a very talented drummer. Here we see Mr. Fetters himself. Since most of the songs I'm recording this summer were inspired by girls, it's fitting to get some help from friends who happen to be amongst the finest singers I know. Alice Peacock over here on the left, and Belinda Lipscomb. And gee, Alice has cute looking eyes, and I gotta tell you, Belinda Lipscomb, she's the one that won my heart. She sings all over Fetter stuff and always brings a smile to my face. And speaking of smiles, look at that mug. There you go. That's the man, Rob Fetters himself. I do not use my 65 Rickenbacker 625 very much, but when I do, some kind of alchemy occurs. I had one of these Ampeg. Is it a Rocket? This drummer named, I won't say his name, stole it from me. It was gifted to me from a guy named Don Bonnick, who's in Hollywood, a guitar player. Now, Father and Sons Part 2, my old buddy Matt Malley. Matt is the bass player from a band called Counting Crows. And he has been known, he's a hanger-on, he's a Johnny-come-lately, one of Fetter's pals, known to play some bass guitar. And this is in their Moore Park, California studio where they're working on Fetter's 5th solo album. Oh, the Raisins are getting back together March 1st and 2nd. Tickets go on sale in November. I think we're going to be making a trip to Cincinnati. It's getting serious around here when I put the acoustic panels up, doing final mixes, have an appointment for mastering in 1 week. Hopefully it's going to be going on sale the first work week of October. My loyal dozens I say of fans are clamoring for it. I cannot let them down. And this is the bass that it's a green and tan, green and yellowish Fender. They call it a Aguilire or something. There's a special name for this type of bass. But this was a 40th birthday present from his bandmates in the Psychonauts. What a wonderful gift. He just recently got this made in Mexico Telly from one of his buddies, and this is a Taylor guitar. I actually asked about this. He was like, oh, the amp? No, Fetters, the blue guitar. The blue guitar. Ah, it's a Magnetone Tornado. So if you're curious, as I was, about a Magnetone Tornado, let's go ahead and take a look. Look at that headstock. Single coils. This is right up my alley. Reminds me of those Yamaha guitars, which my buddy Tony let me know. They own 2 of the basses. Those Yamahas that the guy from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard plays. I forget the model number on it, but yeah, that's his Taylor. And I've never seen Rob play this Magnetone Tornado, but it's going to be on the new album. Maybe it'll be on a live stream. That would be really cool to see him play that guitar. And here is his son Noah again. Noah Fetters. You can actually hear tiny glitches at 15K checking out the final mixes. There is a video called Queer Year, and Noah plays the drums on that. So I will share Queer Year on my Facebook today. So if you're one of my Facebook friends, and if you'd like to be, you can contact me and I will hook you up. I use a different name on Facebook. So here it is, today's 8-hour-old post. Off to mastering. Richard Dodd is going to be mastering his album. This may be the artwork, I don't know. Is that what we're seeing here? Why? Is that trouble? Embarrassed always? Not really sure. One man's dumpster fire? Shit. Something. Fetters. Fetters. Yeah, that's not really quite sure. And a quote by John Dougherty: part of the difficulty of our times have been reduced to magnificent venture being a human being reduced to the endless self-improvement, self-analysis according to the flattest and most boring maps that can be made. Forgive me for not knowing that quote. I can't read. Anyway, you guys, I can't overstress enough the impact that this guy's music has had on our life. Shipshake being his fourth solo album. I'm really excited about this, his fifth solo album. The possibility of seeing the Raisins. Um, this album is going to be going on sale in the first week of October, and I am going to be pre ordering this. I cannot tell you how huge of a deal this is. When his first solo album, this Lefty Loosey Righty Tight, when this came out, um, we did not stop listening to this for well over 1 year. Like, that was all we listened to. We never stopped listening to this album. This is his most aggressive guitar centric album. And it's got a really good message. Um, it's Rob he's an odd duck. He's a sober guy. In his younger days, he was much more of the rock and roll lifestyle, and he it took him a while to settle in to his skin. I want to say that as politely as I can. I can't imagine. I mean, I just got sober this year. I can't imagine doing that when you were his age, when you were still young, and you were fronting a rock band. It's mind numbing that he was able to do that in that environment. But he has a family, and he's a family man, and he's in love with his wife. She's great, you know. So he did the right thing, and who's for me to talk? But I will just say that there is a lot of contradiction and duality featured in his lyrics. There's themes of the suffering that we endure as human beings are really beautifully and eloquently illustrated. That's the theme of his music, as being a human. What it feels like to be contradicted, and contradicted spirituality, these issues of not fitting in, self-esteem issues even, maybe. Um, he's a guy who really strives for perfection, and from everyone else's perspective, it's like he's so far beyond that. It almost seems ridiculous to us. Nobody can hear when he says, "Oh, I made a mistake." Nobody can hear it. It's like his mistakes they're not wrong notes. They're you can't even hear it. It's so subtle. You know, he's that good of a player, and natural talent. So you kind of get it all with this guy. If you're a Rob Fetters fan, there's a lot to love. And it's challenging music. It's not easy. It's not necessarily easy. He deals with some real adult topics, and a lot of times I find myself saying, "Man, oh man, he's really brave, or he's really hard on. He's not soft on people. He doesn't let people get away with being fuckheads so much. He holds us to a higher standard as being, I mean, we're all deeply flawed, and so that's part of what he deals with. Now, as he goes on through his career like musician, started bringing in more different elements and different styles of music, and more synthesizer and piano use, which is beautiful. And I really love that about Rob's music, is how more he began to round out and mature as a musician. And I would say this is really at the peak of that experimental stage. Musician with We See Saint Ain't is the pendulum swinging back more closer towards what he originally started doing. Um, and that's where we're at with musician, and I would expect nothing more but the same, or maybe even more acoustic, more poetic, quieter, not so much the Guitar Hero stuff, but with enough of that to get you by. And I'm just theorizing here, and I could be very well be wrong. It's a collection of electric guitars is what we're seeing in the photograph. So I'm sure it's guitar. This is a guitar centric album that's balanced out with the musical sensibilities using the accompaniment of synthesizer and piano stuff that he does so well. He really does that well. The production is excellent on all the Fetters stuff. So this is a guitar player's guitar player. Um, this is some of the best music you'll ever run into in your life. And shame on you for not already owning all of this stuff. All right, you guys, I'm going to cut you loose. If that wasn't enough to wet your whistle, I would just recommend you go ahead and subscribe to Rob Fetter's Facebook and keep tabs on that. I will be updating you as far as when the album is going on pre-sale. I will be doing a review and promoting this as best I can on my YouTube channel. Simply because, and I believe me, I'm not a Rob Fetters acolyte. I don't worship the guy. I don't think he's perfect or some great human being. Far from it. Far from it. Far from it. But I'm not here. I'm not here to character assassinate anybody. I'm here as a fan of his work, a fan of his music. And in that, he can't do any wrong. The guy's incredible. He's on another level. And I hate to say this, but there was a guy from Cincinnati who once said to me, "Who needs Adrian Belew when you've got Rob Fetters?" And that's a terrible thing to say if you're an Adrian Belew fan. But I gotta tell you, well, I'll leave that for you to decide. Okay, you guys, take care of yourselves. Try to stay warm. It's starting to get chilly here in Chicago. The one thing I do ask is that you hug your pets. Be kind to animals. That's my thing. Um, you could just take an extra minute out of your day if you've got a dog or a cat to give it eye contact, talk to it, pet it, give it a treat. You know what they like. Just be nice. And do that for Petey. And do that every day. Because that's what makes the world a better place. And I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.